Is that the office of Mr. Akintola Williams? Can I speak to him?
From a single phone call in 1960, the seed of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, was sown.
Now that we have an association of accountants in Nigeria, can we turn it into an institute?
The seed germinated in 1965, and through an Act of Parliament number 15 of 1965, ICAN was created.
There were really people who were committed to the best ideals of this profession.
As the world celebrates the World Accountancy Day today, November 10, ICAN, with its unique contribution to Nigeria and Africa, is duly positioned to continue to play its role in the growth of the Nigerian economy, impacting positively on the lives of Nigerians.
Accountants all over the world have been involved in the development of any nation and also corporate entities, public practice, public sector. Every facet of human endeavor, accountants are there.
Any country, as a matter of fact, rely very much on accountants to give them the state of affairs at any particular time.
The contributions we have made in the economies of nations, particularly in Nigeria, driving the ethical standards, and also making sure that even the public and the private sectors of the economy know the effect of accountability.
All levels of the economy, it's very important to have accountants involved right across the board, because it's proven that the more accountants you have, the less corruption there is. So it doesn't matter if it's local government, state government, national government, or what level of business or councils, that we should have accountants, because ethics is such an important part of what we do.
When there is accuracy, when you're able to account for what you have put under your care, you expect that there will be development at the end of the day. When you don't misuse your power, you don't misuse your office, you don't misuse your resources, then you expect that there will be growth and development. I think the accountancy profession has done a lot. If you just take, for example, the banking industry, I can boastfully say that 80% of the chief executive of the banking industry are chartered accountants. What else do I need to say? The banking industry does the developmental work. They bring the resources and finances to help grow the economy. So in a nutshell, I can say confidently that the accounting profession in Nigeria has done a lot. If you take a look of all the governments that has come and gone, the jobs given to chartered accountants are jobs that are well executed. To me, I haven't found any one of these leaders wanting. And if you don't find them wanting, because they have done that which they've been called up to do.
We are involved in empowerment, development of manpower, the skill set that is required to take the economy to a higher level.
You are trained as an accountant for every field of management, and therefore you are able to do a lot more than in many of the other professions. So our contributions to Nigeria's economic development has been absolutely tremendous, and it's continuing to be so.
Professional accounting and public accounting practice has been at the heart of, not just the private sector but the public sector, in terms of providing professionals, who have mastered a discipline, for businesses. So it's not just in terms of professional accountants and in terms of the chartered accountants and the CFOs, but it's also in terms of business leaders. If you look at Nigeria, quite a significant number of the business leaders have come out of the accounting profession. So I think the accounting profession has played a critical role, a very important role in preparing business leaders, both for the private sector and for the public sector.
Accountants have been there from those days as bookkeepers, recently in all facets of financial management, insolvency practice, public sector, financial management, tax management, every facet of human endeavor. They are there as recently as strategic thinkers. They are there as IT consultants, IT auditors, and so on and so forth.
ICAN has built out about 42,000 chartered accountants to date, and in all facets of industry, the accountants have contributed immensely to the development of the economy. So you see them in in the civil service, you see them in the industry, you see them in the all sectors of the economy. We have contributed immensely in ensuring the growth of the GDP, the industrial base, and making sure that proper accounts are kept within the investing public, and giving assurance to all that are interested in knowing what is going on in the financial or services or manufacturing economy. Yes, we have contributed immensely.
The accountancy profession has contributed much to the Nigerian economy. First, let me start by the capacity building or training of professional accountant. To be recalled, previously, accountants used to travel all the way to London and other countries to be trained as professional accountants. But since professionals like Akintola Williams returned to Nigeria and formed Association of Nigerian Accountants that eventually became the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, the profession in this country has built capacity by training.
Without the institute, the profession, there would have been a lot of bad things. But we are lucky that we have the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, which has contributed a lot to the economy, Nigerian economy, up to today. You know, there was a time we had recession. We are getting over it.
The contribution of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, to Nigeria cannot be separated from the history of Nigeria. An association as old as the country, the reasons are very obvious. ICAN is perhaps the only association that cut across all the industries, providing valuable human resources to both the growth of the micro and macro sectors of the economy.
We have been in government, we have helped in developing the government. I was a Minister of Finance and a Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I combined the jobs of Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign and Finance together, the biggest two ministries in government. So, I mean, we have been in industry, we have seen the growth of industry, we have expanded the industries, we have introduced accountability and transparency within the system, we have done developmental accounting within the system, and we have contributed quite a lot to ensure that the Nigeria develops economically and acceptability within the system or within the world system.
Many of our past presidents have been taking part in the affairs of IFAC, not even only past president. I did remember some years ago, the late Omi Diora and Faleye, they were even joint paper presenters at IFAC. I was there that day.
Chartered accountants from Nigeria who became members of these foreign firms contributed immensely to the development of those foreign firms. And those foreign firms were the bedrock of economic development in this country. Because you cannot talk about economic development in this country without talking about foreign investment. Foreign investment is very, very important and very, very germane to the economic development of this country. Otherwise, we will not be talking in terms of effective economic development. And chartered accountants contributed immensely to economic development in this country, particularly from the beginning, since 1963, 62, 64, 65, soon after the independence. The effectiveness of economic development was based on the reliability of the accountancy practice in this country.
They've played creditable roles, whether in the banking sector, oil and gas. They are there in the government. They are there, and they have been raising the standard to ensure that probity, accountability, transparency in governance is highlighted. And over the time, I do believe that the chartered accountant has played roles that will say, yes, of a truth, it's a noble profession.
Our members work in all spheres of life. They are in the industry, they are in the government, they are in all sectors. And essentially, when you consider the role of the accountant, in terms of helping businesses grow, in terms of supporting businesses, in terms of supporting the government, we have come a long way.
Accountant is about, accountability. It's about promoting accountability. Nobody, no institution, no nation makes real progress without, people being able to account properly for the resources, especially where they are resources collectively owned and entrusted, to them.
The accountancy profession has provided a lot of transparency to government's operations.
I'm proud that it's one of the professions that have been, fully Nigerianized, so to say. And I often tease my engineering friends and say, look, you need to grow up and be like us accountants.
The accountancy profession is so crucial as other sectors and industries rely heavily on the profession to provide sound fiscal discipline when it comes to financial relationships and prudent corporate governance.
I trained as a chartered accountant. I was auditing, and from there I moved into taxation. From taxation I went to management accounting, management services. Then I retired and went into agriculture. And I discovered that my accountancy knowledge has put me in a very good stead.
Accountancy is the engine room of any economy. And I can assure you that the economy will grind to a halt without accountants.
Since 1965, ICAN has been training and producing chartered accountants. Today, ICAN members hold influential positions in Nigeria and around the world as business leaders, public administrators, decision makers, and trusted advisors. The World Accountants Day presents another platform for accountants all over the world, and especially in Nigeria, to reevaluate and redefine their roles and continue to explore more ways in moving the country towards sound financial discipline.
For future generation of accountants, basically I want to advise them in 3 areas. 1, they must have a dream, what they want to be in future. They cannot just be going from pillar to post. A dream. 2, they must be digital accountants. Digital in the sense that a lot of things are happening today that are moving the entire space forward, and that is technology disruptions, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, cloud computing, robotics, and so on and so forth. We must be very, very familiar with all these areas. And thirdly, entrepreneurship. A lot of people think capital is a problem. There are a lot of facilities in place now.
Accuracy and integrity must be their watchword. They must be able to look at the records and present the records as it is and tell the truth at all times.
Accountants must imbibe ethics. In Nigeria, we, the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, are in the vanguard of helping also in the fight against corruption.
The profession has come a long way for basic bookkeeping to advance, and international best practices are seen with the International Financial Reporting Standard (IFRS) and the International Public Sector Accounting Standards (IPSAS). Certainly, these brilliant minds still have a lot to offer the world.
Accounting standards are being unified. You may be aware of International Financial Reporting Standards. This is for business outfits. We also have, the International Public Sector Accounting Standard for government establishment.
Now the profession is moving more to information and communication technology operations, and even in the public service where I am, we are adopting the Treasury Single Account. We are adopting the Government Information and Management Government Integrated Financial Management Information System (GIFMIS), and our payroll is no longer manual. It has gone onto the IPIS platform, that's the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System. And all these are helping to streamline record keeping in government and in the private sector.
The accounting profession is experiencing very rapid changes because of technological development. My advice to professional accountants is to keep up with the rapid growth and changes in the accounting profession across the world, take changes in technology, and imbibe the ethics of the profession.
ICAN will continue to power the Nigerian economy with its esteemed accomplished personnel across the length and breadth of Nigeria. In keeping with this tradition, the Institute inducted a new crop of professionals into the industry.
For me, accounting is a profession that offers you a lot of opportunities. The banking sector, the private sector, public sector.
So I decided to enroll in this Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and today I'm chartered. I hope I'm going to contribute my best to the economy.
I feel fulfilled and excited that my dreams have actually come true after 7 years.
The accountants have been very key to the development of this country. As you know, without the accountants, it would have been really difficult for us to harness our resources or even to account for them. And so we've been playing a very critical role, both in the government and in the public sector.
The vogue now, even for the future of the chartered accountant, is information technology. There is a lot of disruptions that is coming about now because of technology. So accountants have to be very, very much. And so I have already got myself in IT, so it's not strange to me at all.
All accountants must join together to ensure that the accountancy profession is enhanced, the integrity of the accountant is maintained, the honesty of the accountant is acknowledged, and the accountancy profession should move from strength to strength.
There's no doubt that the system in which we're in now, somebody will say that courtesy, integrity are very scarce commodities in our environment today. But in the midst of all of that, if people make conscious efforts to help bring people around them, the young people around, to help them share good things that has happened to people who have been cautious, who have shown integrity, are hardworking, then we believe that over time we'll be able to retain it. We are conscious of that, and we are working very hard to create the future of chartered accountants from the youth that we have in our midst today. We try to meet them halfway, recognize what their needs are. The young man is vibrant, the young man is impatient, the young man is in a hurry to get there. Your job as an experienced person is to recognize that this is at this age, because there's a phase for every person. There's a young, when you grow, you mature, and so you try to get them to realize that this kind of lifestyle does not befit what you are looking up to go into in the future. So what do? Try to bring them back and make them realize that what pays is that hard work, that integrity, the strength that you have use it positively so that it can help develop the economy. So I think we are doing fairly well.
Our young accountants, we continue to encourage them, and I can assure you that the future for them is great, but they must be dedicated, they must do very well, and go by the rules of the profession.
They have a very, very bright future. But for you to get to that top, first is remember the motto of the institute, which is accuracy and integrity. If you don't have integrity, accuracy, we are doomed.
The message I have for every accountant and even the aspiring accountants is to make sure that the integrity of the profession is not lowered. Accuracy and accountability and integrity, particularly integrity, is our watchword, and they should make sure that they abide by it at all times.
Nigeria, particularly, I think for us to continue to maintain the discipline that the profession stands for, accountability that the profession stands for, and to ensure that at all times one is able to give an account of his stewardship. Because if and when you are able to give an account of your stewardship, there will be no room for you to encourage any kind of thing that is below the mark in terms of efficiency, proficiency, and honesty and integrity. It is the hallmark of the accountancy profession, and for as long as that is being done, issue of corruption will be a thing of the past.
My advice to young accountants in particular is that you should know that practically there are two types of accountants. There may be two types of accountants. Those that can be replaced and those that are irreplaceable. If you wait for the tide to come, you will be replaced. The machine will take your job. The machine will take your place. But if you equip yourself, the machine will be a tool for the future.
We need to upskill ourselves, to update ourselves with the relevant developments in the IT world. We cannot wish it away. In fact, I think it's something that is good for us, for our profession, because we're able to achieve more, we're able to do more with the technology, and we should not see it as something that is taking our place. There's no way technology can take our place.
The profession of accountancy is not for sloppy-minded people. It's not for lazy people. It's for people who are very committed, very dedicated to their duties, people who realize that much is expected of them, and they are expected to always maintain the truth. Accuracy and integrity must be their watchword.
There's a responsibility that I hope we will accept, which is to, show the way to, public probity, accountability, integrity, transparency, lead by example, and frankly help the country achieve the vision we have. The country, in this case being Nigeria, the vision of the president and of this current government of wanting to, clean up our system. So Nigeria will be known as one of those countries where, we actually walk our talk, and a country of high integrity, both in government, in the private sector, and in civil society in general.
Nigeria will indeed continue to feel the relevance of ICAN products in trade, investment, finance, banking, manufacturing, oil and gas, taxation, and above all, providing transparency and international best practice.
I joined all chartered accountants in Nigeria to join the president of ICAN in celebrating the International Accountants Day, which is today.
As we celebrate the Accountants Day, I pray that accountants continue to make progress. Accuracy and integrity has always been our watchword. The society is looking at us. They believe that we should perform and we should live up to expectation. I wish everybody a good day.
ICAN celebrates with all accountants and say congratulations on a job well done.